Is it having me go live?
Minnesota homeowners. All the electric companies like Excel are rated.
Oh dang, it's already shot me live. I'm just doing some QA checking here and making sure everything. Okay, there I can hear my voice. Alright, so I'm just going to do a really quick overview video of Civilization 6, and really focus on the new content that just dropped, which would be the new Ethiopia civilization along with secret societies. It's been it's been a very interesting experience. I think secret societies really breaks a lot of civs. It makes them so OP. So and let me know how that music is. I have a feeling it might be too loud, but I'm not sure how it is with my voice. Matter of fact, that's a little bit better. So I'm just gonna go and create a game. And keep in mind, this game is available on all platforms, on the Switch, on the PlayStation 4, on Xbox One, and PC, which is what I'm playing on right now. I highly recommend if you have options, you get it on Steam. Do Steam sale on PC. That's what I got this one as, because I had the full DLC and I had the full game on my PlayStation. However, there's just something to be said about a PC port to platforms. And what I mean by that is when they take a game that was made for the personal computer and put it on a platform like PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch, you really lose a lot, and you really get a lot more support for the original version of the game, more than anything. So, go ahead. Background noise is really bothering me. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. That's much better. So I'm going to switch on Apocalypse mode. For those of you who are unaware of what Apocalypse mode is, it's basically really excessive weather effects. The reason I do it is because I like comet strikes, because you can go and collect the remains at the comet strikes, and you get a free horseman. And then definitely going to turn on secret societies. And within secret societies, you do have the option of 4 different societies you can choose to join. And that's where a lot of the fun starts to come into play, because they work with different civs very uniquely. I'm going to take off score victory because I'm going to do no turn limit. I'm not going to play all that much, but I was actually playing with Psionica, and she kept choosing a small map, and I just realized how much I just detest small maps. Like, they are the bane of my existence. I hate them with a passion. I like lots of land, and I don't like people by me. At least until I'm like set up to do something. And I'm actually going to choose one of the new civs. Not so much new. He was reworked a little bit. Before we had Teddy Roosevelt. And he definitely worked similar to this one, and then similar to Bull Moose Teddy. And then we have Rough Rider Teddy. I like Rough Rider Teddy. He plays more into my gameplay of domination. And he does some culture stuff. He does a lot of stuff with city-states, which I'm going to be showing you with the secret society that I'm going to be choosing to play. So we're definitely going to have fun with Teddy Roosevelt. Before the patch, he was just absolutely horrible. He was someone I would never use. And now it's been completely reversed because of the work with the city-states. That has been a huge buff, along with the Owls of Minerva working with city-states very differently. You can kind of stack those abilities together, which you'll see here shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and choose him, and just so you are aware, you do get a +5 combat strength on your home continent, and that works a little bit differently. I actually had to get used to working on the home continent because it's not really straightforward as you think it is. You can be on one large landmass and there can be 3 continents. So I will show you the map later. You can take a look and see which continent you're on. And then envoy sent to city-states who had a trade route to come as 2 envoys, and you gain the Rough Rider unit with rifling. That's definitely further down the road than we'll probably get to tonight. All diplomatic policy slots in the current government are converted to wildcard slots, +1 diplomatic favor per turn for every wildcard slot in your government. With the P-51 Mustang, that is nothing new to us. Not a lot of people use the fighter jets just because of the limited mobility. Some people do use the Rough Rider. So this ability right here, where it's talking about being on your home continent and having the increase in attack, it's good for defense. But if you're really doing a lot of offense and a lot of domination with this civ, it's really not going to be beneficial because you're usually going off your home. And then of course, he has the film studio. The film studio is probably the strongest cultural building in the game. But there's a twist to it. It only works with other civilizations that are also in the modern era or above with you. So it does increase tourism 100% from the city towards other civilizations in the modern era. But you have to actually make sure that you're doing everything you possibly can to attract those tourists from other civilizations, such as having those relics, having those pieces of art, having those pieces of music in those cultural sites that you will be building. Having things like open borders, having things like airports going. So there are a lot of different things you need to do in order to really work toward that cultural victory. It's definitely a tough victory mode to choose, I think. It just takes a lot of work, and if you're a person who likes to World War, I think you might get really bored trying to achieve cultural victory. So I will definitely show little parts of that. I really don't start building cultural buildings until later in the game because, as you'll see, probably, I need to make sure my defense is there. The last game I chose Rough Rider Teddy, which I'm on the right one. The last game I chose was Rough Rider Teddy. Brazil invaded America, and it was not a wise choice. So. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to leave resources the way they are. And I'm just kind of curious if I should go for a great bath or not. It's a catch-22 with that one specifically. And I can definitely do a video where I show the awesomeness that is the great bath, the very first wonder that you will be building. That you can build. Let's see. I think I'm going to do more hills, volcanoes. I'm going to leave that alone. But rainfall, I'm going to actually choose wet. A map with more woods, rainforest, and marsh. I'm going to do that one because food, production, I always hate struggling with production on my civ, so I'm going to leave that wet and not cheat on those other ones, just so we can stay there. Pocket modes of societies, turn limits, that's perfect there, that's perfect there. It's on Prince, so this is the 4th highest difficulty. I did have to work from Settler to Chieftain to Warlord to Prince, so I think I might be getting ready for King. So we'll see here. Start game. So I don't know if anyone has watched any trailers for the new game coming out in Humankind. I tried to get in on the first release
From the
these
first
for
stirrings of
select
life beneath
people,
water
did not make it.
to the
So I'm
great
hoping for
beasts
the
of the
second
Stone
one.
Age,
It is
to
another
man
builder,
taking his first
very
upright
much
steps,
like
you have come
Civilization.
far.
And
Now begins your greatest
it looks
quest.
awesome. I have
From
to
this
say,
early
it just
cradle
looks,
of
it looks
civilization
beautiful. And I
on
really like
towards
the
the
artwork,
stars.
the detailing. That
And
they
so
put
it is
into But
upon
the game
your broad
mechanics
shoulders, Theodore
are
Roosevelt,
actually look
to
very,
charge
very
forth and lead your
superior
people
to
on their great
Civilization.
adventure.
Some of them look very similar.
Use your military
Some
might to
actually
give
look
the peoples
superior.
of your homeland the
I'm really
square
curious
deal
about the
they so
whole
desperately
nomadic
deserve.
stage that you start
Surely,
as.
you will raise
Because in
America into the
Civilization, you gotta put your
limelight
city down
and
right
attract
away.
visitors from across the
And I
oceans
kind of like
just to see your
exploring the map
lands.
first before
Bully for you,
deciding,
Mr.
so
President.
You kind of know what's around you. But if you want to get the Great Bath, your city needs to go down on turn 1. you need to research pottery, 10 turns. The moment you get the Great Bath researched, you need to start building it and throw as much production into it, because other people will definitely beat you to it if you're not on top of your game. Oh, crap. It put me right on tundra, and there are definitely no floodplains, so we are not doing a Great Bath in this game. However, I need to get away. What are you doing here? I need to get away from the tundra as much as possible. What's good is there's a lot of hills, so that means that we have a lot of production. And this green down here looks like there's going to be some food down here. So that's pretty narrow. You know what? I'm on a Plains Hills, and I'm on a geothermal fissure. I'm not liking that, but you know, we're not going to be playing a long game, so I'll go ahead and just settle my butt down here. Alright, so I'll go ahead and build a slinger. I'm kind of feeling building slingers instead of scouts right away, just for defensive purposes, and you can upgrade them to... That's weird that... Oh, it's because I got that science on here. Oh, that's pretty cool, that I can actually get to it before 10 turns. I'm looking at the pottery research, and it's only 7 turns because I actually have a point of science on my tile here, so my city is producing 2 food, 2 production, 1 science every turn. And that science, of course, goes into the research that you're going to be doing. I'm glad I didn't go down here. That is a dead end. So this actually may not be a horrible spot. I'm curious what's over here, though. I like the mountains because they're going to give us really good adjacency bonuses for things like the campus. Oh my god, there's lots of mountains. For the campus, for our religious sites, and the rivers. Actually, this would be a really good place for a commercial hub, because you're going to have a rivers going around there. That's going to give you a decent adjacency bonus on there. And staying the hell away from that volcano, because I feel like it's going to blow up all over me. Which, keep in mind, you do want to settle around volcanoes. At least that is my suggestion, because they are... Oh yeah, there's a lot of food over here, I bet. They fertilize the land. They may blow your stuff up constantly, but they're really going to fertilize the land around you. And the more they blow up, the better. And that's kind of the trick with the Great Bath, is you go and build soothsayers, and you go to the river, and soothsayers basically make a river flood, a volcano erupt, a blizzard in the tundra, a dust storm in the desert. They basically create these natural disasters, and when they do that on a river with a Great Bath, every time
I thought clay must feel happy.
Gains a point of faith every time you flood it. So you can easily be producing 50 faith of churn just off river tiles. Alright, so that's coastland, and we got another volcano. That's awesome. We did not get a secret society off that one. So whenever did somebody else meet them? Nope, we got that point there. So every time you're the first time to meet a city-state, you get one envoy there. You earn envoys over time. That's why you really want to get to the city-state before anyone else does and get that point. Let's send these guys. Let's see. I'm kind of curious about what's over here. Alright, so that's just the mountain. And while I'm scouting the area here, I am getting an idea of how I want to plan these cities. So there's Babylon, so I'm getting really screwed with places because there are so many city-states around me. And that's the Owls of Minerva. So if you take a look, you unlock by sending an envoy to a city-state, plus 1 economic policy slot. Each trade route sent to a city-state awards 1 envoy there. So it works really well with Rough Rider Teddy, so I'm going to go ahead and appoint. We're going to have some serious problems. They're really good city-states. I love the science, and I love the gold, but they are not leaving us much land to explore here. Automate you. Yeah, if I would just play by myself, I would totally hit restart on this one. There's too many mountains. I'm by the tundra, not cool, and all these city-states are taking up land. Because if you take a look.
If there are no dogs in heaven.
Jeez, what's going on here? So far, after what I've uncovered, this is literally the only place I can settle. Possibly here. I can settle up here, but there's no fresh water. That's why all these tiles are gray. The green ones and different shades of green, if you can take a look, these are a lighter green, which means you have ocean water, and coastal water only gives you plus 1 housing. But if you go to freshwater sources, which I bet there's a river down here or something, you get plus 3 housing, and that's all on top of your usual plus 2 when you put down a city. So it is not looking good for me right now. Do a little close-up of this guy. That is a barbarian scout, and I definitely want to take him out. Yeah, if I were to play this map, what I would probably end up doing would be making coastal cities down and settling in this area with a bunch of cities and kind of like leave my capital off to do its thing. Yeah, this is a really bad start. But I just wanted to play this to give you guys an idea of the new game mechanics and These are. Let me show you. Oh, there's
Never again can I gaze
Treasure
upon.
Lake. Natural wonder. And that, of course, introduced me to... Oh, no, it didn't. That's weird. That should have been another one. Another secret society, but it did not work that way, so... Which is fine. But these guys right here... These guys are usually guarding a barbarian outpost, which is basically a spawn for more barbarians. But whenever ranged units come close, they get really upset and start moving.
It is not wisdom, but
So because of that secret society, I have that extra... Actually, no, I believe that's Rough Rider Teddy's economic policy. Because usually you only get 1 and 1. But based on my Civ and Secret Society, I get an extra policy card in there. But I want to know where those barbarians are. I know they're probably close here. The barbarians are all over the place. Alright, so we're only doing +5 food, and that cannot get boosted. Because all... Actually, this toe has 2 food on it. These 2, so they're not bad. Like I said, this start is not a good one, which usually happens. So Babylon here, the city-state, they usually, all city-states, if they see any barbarians around them, usually go pretty hard against barbarians. Playing a little cat and mouse with the barbarians here.
Pensiați venguți la cur d'Arianu, duchessa
trust her.
d'Aquitania, reina consorts de Franța e d'Angleterra. Ciuciaireți d'amor.
She's evil. Yeah, see, this is not gonna be a good map to play on now. Being with Eleanor, she's right there. I would have to settle these up here, and this I mean, if I was in Russia, this would be a really good start. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do a quick restart. I had a feeling that might happen on my first video that I was doing this on. It was really bad placement.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the
So
great
the reason I
beasts
couldn't
of the
settle by
Stone Age,
Eleanor is
to man taking
so
his
not only
first
does she have
upright
an ability
steps,
to lower the
you have come
loyalty,
far.
but you really
Now
want to
begins
stack
your
your cities
greatest
close
quest.
together, so
From this
that
early
they
cradle
can
of civilization
defend one
on
another
towards the
on
stars.
loyalty-wise.
And so it is upon
you put
your
a city
broad shoulders,
right by the
Theodore
capital of another
Roosevelt, to
civilization.
charge forth and lead your people on
They
their
don't even
great
need to
adventure.
attack it. They're gonna
Use your military might to give the peoples of your homeland the square deal they so desperately deserve.
Several different ways.
Surely,
but she
you
has
will raise
a
America
unique
into the
ability
limelight and attract visitors from
that
across the
usually comes later in
oceans
the
just
game,
to see your
but
lands.
for every relic
Bully for you,
or great
Mr.
work
President.
that she has in her cultural abilities, she can lower your loyalty -1 per turn within 9 tiles of her cities. So you're within nine tiles of any of her cities, she can lower your loyalty. And that can be a big problem. I'm hoping to get into a massive game to really show you how these all come together. Because it is a truly fun game. And these jerks gave me a spawn in desert, which is not a good area. However, okay, I'm gonna just try this one more time. If we don't get it on the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video and make sure I get a good start on the next one before I start it. Actually, I was just testing audio and video because it's the first time me streaming pieces.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water,
Labs
to the great beasts of the Stone Age,
so
to man taking his
hopefully we'll
first
get a
upright
good start on this
steps,
one.
you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From
But
this
yeah,
early
so
cradle of
with
civilization
the DLC,
on
which
towards
is
the
called the
stars.
Frontier Pass,
And so it is
because the
upon
game
your
has
broad
had,
shoulders,
I believe this
Theodore
is the
Roosevelt,
third
to
DLC
charge
pass.
forth and lead your
One with
people on their
Gathering
great
Storm,
adventure. Use your military
and-
might to give the peoples of your
I'm drawing a
homeland
blank
the
on
square deal they so
Gathering
desperately
Storm
deserve.
and
Surely,
Fuck.
you will raise America into the limelight
what the other
and
one
attract
was.
visitors from across the
But
oceans
there was
just
two,
to
and
see
then-
your
then came
lands.
Frontier Pass.
Bully for you, Mr. President.
Crazy. Frontier Pass. So in Frontier Pass, every 2 months they come out with a whole bunch of new content. At least 1 or 2 new civilizations, a new game mode. This one had a new government building. And so what I liked during quarantine and COVID, that Firaxis, the developer of this game, is bringing us new content. Once I go, okay, see, I can deal with this. Very first thought, I love seeing lots of trees. I see this marsh down here, and that is indicative of a floodplain. So I'm probably going to head in that area. That is not a floodplain itself, but there could be floodplains down there. So, and there's not, which is fine. Not too worried about it. And that's a grassland hill. That's a plains hill. And you really want to try to get a city down on a plains hill. The reason being, it's the only spawn that will get you 2 food and 2 production. And you really want that for your city tile, because that means for every turn you're producing 2 food, 2 production. And to give you an idea of what that means, every citizen in your city eats up 2 food. So you at least have to have 2 food for every citizen you have. If you don't, you're going to start losing your citizens in your city. You're not going to be able to grow those citizens in your city. So that is just one thing to keep in mind about where you kind of put down your city at. hopefully there's some luxury items around here. I'm not seeing. What I mean by that is luxury resources. There's some sugar right here. And you want to try to get them in your city because they help with your amenities, which you can take a look right here. Right now I'm at +1. Amenities go down as your population goes up because you need more amenities to keep your people happy. So when it gets into the management of your city, definitely is a lot to take in at first. But then you can kind of do it like the back of your hand. And if you click on any of these buttons, your city's going to focus on that kind of production. So if I say I want it to produce more, it's going to focus and usually increases that number of 6.3. That's the base production. That's all it can do right now, just because it's a brand new city. So I am going to go ahead and research pottery. As you can see, it is 10 turns here. Slinger, and have him move down here. Ooh, and there's a tribal village. You want to pick these up as much as possible. You get free stuff for picking them up. And ooh, we already got the Owls of Minerva. Because we found Geneva. And we just got another one. However, I'm going to take that governor tile, my money. You know what, I'm going to actually wait until I can get a trader up there first. Because using the abilities of my Civ and my Secret Society, I can get more envoys if I wait. There's a lot of food over here. Holy smokes. Now these tiles, these are floodplains, as you can see. These are going to flood like crazy. And it's a really good thing to have the river flood, because it's going to turn these 2 food producing tiles to 3 to 4 to 5, depending on, you know, how much flooding that they actually end up doing. Alright, I gotta find my way to Geneva there. Another slinger. So a lot of people play differently.
No man
like
ever wetted clay.
Psionica. She's really big on small maps of putting down one city and that's it. And working from that city, because she does like Ethiopia and she does like the new secret society, the Void Singers, for Ethiopia to do that. And she actually can do some really cool things with it. But on this map, I'm actually going to I have a much larger map, so I'm definitely going to be spamming out settlers to be, you know, throwing those cities, multiple cities up a lot. You know, and as your first governor, a lot of people have very different opinions about who it should be. I know Psionica was talking to me about Magnus and getting this unlocked on my city as soon as possible, because instead of every time spawning a settler, because it takes one from your citizen production, so you lose a citizen every time you send a settler. But with that promotion for Magnus, that doesn't happen. You actually get to keep all of the citizens in your city. However, the Saxy Gamer was talking about Pingala, and when I was looking at him, I was like, oh, he's pretty sweet. It's 1 science per turn for each citizen in the city, 15% increase in science and culture generated by the city, 1 culture per turn for each citizen in the city, and 100% great people points generated per turn in the city. I'm a big fan of the great people, and so I typically will use him a lot. But her suggestion makes sense as well. So it really just makes sense for what you're currently doing in the game. Taylor, is it still loud? Let me, I had a feeling that was going to be an issue. Let me go into options, audio. I had a feeling that would be an issue. Alright, so that should be turned off, so that should sound a lot better now. Alright, and like I said, I like to do maps with a lot of mountains, because the mountains are going to be key for getting really good bonuses on your buildings, especially your holy sites and your campuses that are going to generate science. You need the rivers for your commercial hubs to generate gold. And I was just watching a video on this for your industrial center. You need, even if you don't need it, you want to build an aqueduct and a dam. Those will make really good bonuses to the production facilities. So like I said, if you just get this game, it will probably take you, I mean, I think it took me at least a good month just to get a grasp on it. Not to like fully understand the game and start to go up the levels, but the mechanics alone took me about a month because there were so many. I should say there are so many. Settler. Last thing I want is for that volcano to erupt on me. Usually what happens when I walk within one tile of a volcano. As you can see, there are, go back here, there's some more luxury items, some olives here. Definitely indicative of a good place to put down the city. I always like putting my cities on the coast for the harbors. I'm a big fan of spamming those harbors and having any access to water, because later in the game you're going to be able to start creating water parks, and those are great for free amenities. And I'm trying to figure out where exactly this city should go. Thinking further along this river over here, you definitely always want to settle along a river if you can, just because you do get the most housing when you put down a city on fresh water sources. But also keep in mind it could flood and not just totally destroy your city, but definitely screw it up, and you have to repair stuff and all the good fun. That's why you put down a dam. Alright, the Zulu. I've never played the Zulu. I found them very uninteresting. Really nothing great about their abilities in the least. Oh. See, now this, if I had a city like over here, this would be such a great area for a holy site, because you'd be getting adjacency bonus from all these mountains, because it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be like a +5 faith per turn on a holy site at the basic level. Because it counts the sides. And one thing I love about the PC version is you can kind of tell the military strength, science per turn, culture per turn, gold per turn, faith per turn, and diplomatic favor balance. So you can kind of keep tabs on the opponent here to kind of make sure that you're not, getting too much in the hole in whatever specific area that you're trying to go for. Oh, that got me a builder. Sweet. And I can't do anything because I don't have anything researched for my builder, so I'm going to put him to sleep. And Kahuna is blocking me, so I can't get out. And Musa, Lord of Mali, he is really good if you're going to play desert-specific maps. He thrives in the desert. But it's still unfair for you to play a game where you're playing in a desert and other people are playing on grasslands. But if everyone's in a desert, he will definitely thrive over everyone else. And just to kind of show you guys here, you can get a general idea by the coloring of the tiles. If we look at this light green, we're seeing a lot of production along with a little bit of food. The dark green is a lot more food. So you can get a general idea just by looking at the color of the tiles of where you want to put everything. So he's sending me a delegation. Delegation is kind of like, hey, hello, I want to be friends. Do you want to be friends? It also exposes your city, your capital, to them so they know where it is. And I'll go ahead and send one out to the Zulu because it costs 25 gold. If they don't like you, they won't take it in because that means they're exposing the location of their capital. So I sent those out, and hopefully they will get a little bit more friendly towards me. And we just met... Cleopatra. I hate Cleopatra. For no specific reason. She just expects people to trade with her and like her because she's pretty. That's literally how her civ is designed. She's a really high maintenance girl in this game. And I think it is definitely cute to kind of have that kind of design to an AI, but at the same time, she's annoying. So she's talking about my secret society here. She has a different society, so immediately she's upset. Alright, so we have our first settler. And these little house marks are saying that's where your advisor is telling you to put a city. I think that advisor is full of crap, so I'm not going to do that. And let's see. That actually looks like a Plains Hill. Oh, and I can't get on there. Dang it. No. That's not... I don't want you to go yet. Settler again. And... So, as you can see right here, these negative numbers, it's because the Zulu city is putting off that loyalty. So if you settle in any of these spaces, they're going to be taking away per turn like -8 points of loyalty, -14, -20. And I believe your loyalty starts at 100 if you don't have other factors affecting it. And so that means, I mean, if I put a city here, I could possibly lose it in 5 turns, and it would become a Zulu city. Where is... Okay. Actually, I might put it there. That is a luxury resource, which I need. And... Actually, that Plains Hill. No, I'll put it here, and then possibly another city down there. Because Cleopatra, I believe, is right here. And something's over there. So she is sending a delegation to me, so I better send one back to her. So we're starting to see some desert there. Oh shoot. Can't get through because there's a mountain there. In the beginning, I like to be friends with everyone. And if you do form a friendship that for 30 turns, they cannot attack you. They can't even break that promise to you. Even if they wanted to, they can't attack you until that's over with. Oh shit. He is loaded with barbarians. Sucks to be him right now. Peace out. I'm out of here. Well, that's one thing I do with barbarians. When they're attacking my rivals, I let them go. Usually I would kill them on the spot. But if they're attacking, someone who may become your enemy, I'd let them have it. And let's say if your warrior is walking by a city and it's being attacked by barbarians, and they have it all the way to like 0 because barbarians can't raise a capital, I would maybe declare war on it and take that capital real quick. Things like that. The AI can be pretty dumb at times. Alright, so I'm going to be building the monument. It is going to be producing 1 loyalty per turn in the city, as well as producing 1 culture. You definitely want to work on your culture game. Culture is what broadens the border of your city and lets you own more land quicker. Oh, nice. My favorite thing. Love meteor showers. Now, if I can just get to it before Cleopatra, that's the question. So, because I got to it, it gave me a free heavy chariot, which is pretty sweet. Yep, that is the Egyptian capital. So, Mali is a faith-based civilization. So, one of their agendas is liking civs who work on religion, work on faith. And currently I'm not doing that, so he's just saying that I should probably work on that. So, just killed the barbarian scout. And it looks like there's a lake here. It's definitely not the coast. Alright, so one thing I can tell you guys what I do here is I try to box in civs, and so if we're taking a look at this, there's really nowhere to go up here. I still have to look at that area. But Egypt, their capital is right here. Then there's a city-state right there. So she would naturally want to go up. She can't because my cities are right here, and she knows I'm going to affect her loyalty. So she might put a city up here somewhere, maybe towards here. But if you take a look at settling, she can only settle here, and she would only have 2 housing on that city because there's no fresh water until she can research an aqueduct. And then she has these tiles she can affect. And there's more stuff down here she could possibly do. We're going to actually see what is down here, actually. Oh, that might be the end of the continent for her. So she is probably going to war very soon with either me or a city-state. Let's go ahead and build our trader. Yeah, she's out of land there. So she is not doing very good. Taylor. Taylor says, the game has progressed since playing Civ 1 on my 286 on floppies. Yeah, probably has. Definitely progressed a lot. So this is one thing I could possibly do. I could declare a surprise war, which the other Civs will hate me if I do that, and pop off this settler from the Zulu. They would be incredibly upset, but it's a great way to set them back. So let's just go right here and see what happens. They got a warrior right behind it to kind of, defend them. And on the next turn, I'm going to kind of see if that warrior catches up to the settler. If it does, I won't take it. But in the meantime, Cleopatra is giving me a green smiley face, which means she's friendly. And she just declared a friendship with me. So let's watch and see what goes on up here. And hey, best gamer, how's it going? Alright, so I'm gonna go for it even though there's two warriors trailing. What I'm gonna probably end up doing is having my warriors stay back and have the settler go run. Declare war. And then put them in. So what I did here is I put them in fortify position, which means they're in a defensive stance, so they're not going to take as much damage, and they're going to heal after every turn. Alright, so this guy's like, peace out. And I'm going to put this guy in defense. Oh, and the volcano erupted on me. Alright, and then let's take a look. So we got one envoy in Geneva, and our secret society ability and our civ ability should kick in when I send this trade route. Alright, so perfect. So that got us 3. So then I can go ahead. Oh man, I don't have a governor tile. If I did, I could go ahead and actually I do assign. So I'm gonna send Amani to non-Madal. There is 0 production on any tile here except for the city. So, but there's this one, there's these 2, there's this one. We got some saving grace around the actual city itself. So, Best Gamer, I went to war with Africa to steal their settler. A couple of reasons I did that. For one, so I could put down another city. And for 2, I did that to keep them behind. And so, if you really delay your opponents from setting down cities, it can really affect them. It doesn't seem like it can, but you really need to spam out your cities as soon as possible. You really need to get everything down as soon as possible because it builds up, so much over time. So, in 10 turns, I will declare peace with him, and he'll be fine. But in the meantime, I am booking out of here. And build slinger. Keep that one there. Alright, I'm trying to get this chariot to catch up with the settler, because I think there's barbarians in the way, in the area. And if the barbarians get to my settler before I do, they can convert it to their side. Alright, and then that will be our next city spot, as long as we can secure the settler. Alright, and now we are the suzerain of Non-Modal and the suzerain of Geneva. So we have 3 and 3 in each. And this is one thing about the city-states, so that if you are wondering why I'm going heavy on them, is they really buff up your cities on what they do. And it depends on how many envoys you have at each level, and then they have a suzerain bonus. A suzerain is just basically somebody that has current control of the city. As you can see, Cleopatra has Anta Navarro, and no one has Kahana yet. And they all have different missions. These missions earn you an extra envoy in that city-state. But the big thing is, you can also levy their military. So if you're in a bind, you can borrow their military. I believe it might be for 30 turns. I'll do that to, attack another city. But this is one thing you got to keep in mind is, like, if you're going to do that, like, for right now, Nanmadal has, quite a bit of a military that I could take over. But if I do that and I attack Egypt, then her city-state will come to defend her and attack my city here, New Orleans. So I have to be prepared for that. Geneva will also come to my defense and attack her city as well. Heal that guy up. Mount Kilimanjaro. One tile, impassable natural wonder. It appears as a volcano. Provides +2 food to adjacent tiles. On eruption, it gives low yields and is most likely to damage improvements and buildings. Infrequently erupts, but is always active. So as you can see, these tiles are very, very nice. Another big reason it's worth to have a city settled right here, even if it is right by this mountain and this mountain. I almost want to put it here on this grassland hills. Alright, and then this is a pantheon. It's part of your religion. You can choose one of these different things. There's a couple of them that I choose, and one of the main ones is River Goddess. You get 2 amenities and 2 housing, 2 cities if they have a holy site district adjacent to a river. Another one that I'll use frequently is production from fishing boats if you're settling along the coast, which I'm not in this game. A lot of these, the Pantheon happens very, very quickly, and it's really hard to figure out what exactly you need. So what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to do 2 amenities and 2 housings to cities if Holy Site District is adjacent to a river. There, I got that barbarian. Alright, and he wants to trade for my diplomatic favor, which I'm willing to do. Alright, so now it just revealed iron by researching bronze working. So Best Gamer says, do you think they will on Civ 7 2027? I think he's asking when the next Civ is coming out. And I think it's due for a new game. I believe this game was made in 2016. And so I would expect a new release within the next, I would say, 1 or 2 years. Let's take a look here. What's around here? There is that luxury. Actually, I might start playing this game. This is actually a perfect place for the holy site, or right here. They did a space civ, I want to say 2 games ago, and it did not go over well. Although, you know, with that being said, someone made a Star Trek mod for, it was only made for Civilization 4, which I do believe is still available in the Steam store. I haven't played the Star Trek mod for Civilization 4. I've heard some really cool things about it. And and I did see a Star Wars mod for Civ 5 that was in the Steam store as well. I kind of want to work with some mods. I did try to play Civ 5, but Civ 6 was my first Civilization game. I knew of it back in the day, but I really hadn't played it all that much. I think I'm going to settle right here. This is just too good of a position to put a city down for you know, a holy site or a campus, as is this area. And I don't really use the rock for production, so I'm gonna go ahead and settle down there. And being close to Mount Kilimanjaro is really good. Alright, so we upgraded all of our slingers to archers. No amenities there. Thaler said there was a really good game called Alpha Centauri. So old you could probably play it on your oven. Yeah, I've actually been looking through the Steam store for some good old-fashioned Star Trek games, and I was really surprised that they didn't have they have some old games there, but not the really fun and engaging games like the Star Trek Armadas. I thought would be in there, and they're not in there. Star Trek Birth of the Federation is not in there. There were, I think, one of the Star Trek Academies or Star Trek Starfleet Command, I believe, that was in the game. It was one of the much older ones, but I was really shocked at the the lack they had of those games. However, they do have Age of Empires, and I'm really tempted to buy the remade Age of Empires and do a stream on it. Hey, Morgan. So Morgan says he's going to bed soon, but will lurk here for a bit. And then Taylor says games that'll have to be played on emulators. It's true. I actually have Star Trek Birth of the Federation, but I have a very specific setup to play it on Windows 10. Alright, so we are good. We have about 4 cities. Of course, we stole one from the Zulu, so I'm sure they're not too happy with me. Let me see if they're ready to make peace. Nice. Let me see if I can get some gold from them. Woo! Nice. I will take that. Thank you. Yeah. He wanted some diplomatic favor, and he gave me a whole bunch of gold, so I was more than happy to oblige. Let's see, trade routes. One faith and one gold. Well, that's the only faith I'm getting. I don't really need it now. I could build Stonehenge, but I'm not really playing a religious game. Stonehenge is a great wonder to have because it allows you to instantly create your own religion and start playing a religion game. I'm not really going to do that. I go back and forth between wonders. Wonders are really good if you're running a culture game. If you're trying to do a culture win, wonders are great because in late game, they are definitely going to get you a lot of tourism. Because people want to come and visit the world wonders. However, they also take up a lot of friggin' space that can be used for other things. And in the beginning of the game, I'm trying to mass settlers, so I usually let a lot of people take a lot of the... That's interesting that the Great Bath is still around on turn 53. That's... No one must be on a floodplain. And, are we? No. I'm not even on the floodplain. Yeah, Thaler, I create a religion that does not believe in religion as well. So it's actually pretty cool. You can actually go into it and create, call it whatever you want. They have a whole bunch of symbols you can choose from. And you can give it any kind of benefit that you want and spread it to the world, and get into that going back and forth and fighting people over spreading their religion or spreading your religion. The unfortunate thing is once you get your religion spread to a city, it's really hard to get it out, because even if they convert a city, that doesn't mean they converted everyone in the city. So I think it's really fun to play a religious game, because you have, let's see, you have the missionaries, who are the basic unit who spread it. Then you have the apostles, and they can engage in theological warfare, so they can actually strike down the missionaries. Even if you're not at war, you can be killing other missionaries that are coming into your territory, or you can go into other territory and strike them down. It's actually pretty cool because they're like lightning strikes. Yeah, so I really want the commercial hubs, because I really need to get my trade routes going. For this civilization in particular, trade routes, I need my trade routes to control all of the city-states around me. And it's pretty easy once I have those commercial hubs. So I think what I'm going to do here is create another settler, because we need to get another city out. And I'm going to promote him, do that, so it doesn't consume any more citizens in my city. And I'll do that. I'll give you open borders. So open borders just basically means you're opening your border to their people. They can come in. The big thing is a lot of people are hesitant about open borders because they can move their troops in and say, "Oh no, we're not waging war," and then in what next turn be, "Hey, it's a surprise war." They'll be kicked out of your borders, but they'll be on the other side of your border, ready to attack your cities. So that's one reason not to do it. Especially if you are encountering the Mongolians, Tamiris, any of the domination heavy civs, even Catherine de Medici of France, she did that to me once, pissed me off. She's like, "Hey, can we do open borders? Okay, I'm gonna move my cavalry. They're not really doing anything, except yeah, it's a war now." I was so upset. But the other thing with open borders is you're inviting tourists in. If you don't open your borders, you can't get those new tourists into your cities. So that's something late game that you might want to think about if you're going to be running a culture game. Let's see. I need to get some scouts out here to basically uncover the rest of this, because there's a lot of cities here. That Skimmer, I'm not sure what you're asking about. Do you think on Civ 7 universe? I'm curious where Cleopatra's gonna go. Let's see. Cleopatra, yeah, she has 132 gold. She's pretty unique because, let's see, Queen of the Nile. She likes civilizations with powerful militaries and will try to ally with them to avoid damaging military conflicts. Dislikes civilizations with weak militaries. So that gives you an idea of what number you want to be focusing on here. So right now she probably likes me because I have the strongest military. But that can always change at the drop of a hat. Very first buildings I put into my city is definitely going to be the what is it? The temple and the granary and the watermill, typically. Yeah, take it. I don't need it. So they keep asking me for this diplomatic favor. I'm like, take it all. I'm not a big fan of the diplomatic piece of the game because I think it's really limiting. And yeah, I'm just not a big fan of it. Alright, so now we get to change our government to autocracy, classical republic, and oligarchy. Am I saying that right? So basically, they all do different things. I always choose autocracy because I want the 2 military government policy slots. Plus, I get one to all yields for each government building and palace in the city, and plus 10% production towards wonders. And Thaler says, do they have 2-story outhouses in this game? I'm not sure what that is. Alright, unit maintenance reduced by 1 gold per turn, because all units have a gold maintenance cost. And then plus 2 influence points per turn towards earning city-state envoys. I'm going to remove this one here and put in 50% increased production towards settlers, so I can spam those settlers out much faster. And next government I want is monarchy. Oh dang, this stream is going on for an hour and a half. Granary. And when I did go down to New Orleans, and I did buy this tile for them, because as you can see, they are just struggling with no production on any of their tiles. They got one little production here, one little production here. So I bought this this tile with 2 production, 2 food on it. And then I beefed up and clicked on focusing citizens on production. So this is an annoying thing. Fires start by themselves, and if you happen to be caught in it, you take a ton of damage. What really sucks is when your settlers are caught in the fire, they die. And it takes so long to produce settlers, it really sucks. So, Best Gamer, you do choose your civilization if that's what you're asking. There's I think there's 40 civilizations to choose from. It's quite crazy. And about, I always struggled with the very first building to put down, because it's one of those things where I'd always be up in the air. I used to always put encampments down first, because I was like, hey, production, production, production. And they're okay, but they're not really necessary. Because if you have woodland tiles, they provide so much production once you can put down lumber mills. So I was like, that's a waste. Then there are no... So, Best Gamer's saying, can you make war crimes on Civ 6? So, you have a reputation in the game. Like right now, I'm known as a warmonger because I declared a surprise war on the Zulu. And you earn these grievances. Let me show you. Because I bet you anything, I still have grievances with the Zulu. So they have 60 grievances, or they have 60 grievances against me. If you take a look here, so grievances they have against you is 60. I earned 150 grievances because I declared a surprise war. But as you can see here, I believe, let's see. So losing grievances per turn from -9 from per turn decay in the classical era. So right now, that's going down to -9 every turn. So over time, those grievances get lighter and lighter and lighter until they go away. And I mean, everything you do has can negatively, everything that you do negatively can cause grievances. The biggest and best way to cause grievances is to occupy enemy city. There's occupying an enemy city, there's occupying the capital, and there's wiping them out from the game. A lot of the other civilizations don't take kindly to that. And if your civilization, say like the Cree or Egypt, who rely on trade, it can be really detrimental. If you don't, you're like, oh, screw you, I don't care about any of you guys, then you can definitely go and do your own thing. So if we take a look at, so the Mali, they have no grievances against us anymore. They did, because we declared surprise war against somebody else, and they no longer care. As does Egypt. Best Gamer, can you rephrase that question? I don't understand. Can you free civ? Thaler says, too bad they don't have clone civ. You could send like 50 units inside a VW Beetle. They do have the Penguins of Madagascar civ in a mod. And if you're talking about clones, they also have a Trump civ. But those are all different kinds of game types. I was just learning about the Penguins of Madagascar. I just thought that was awesome. There are multiple mods. So Best Gamer says, like war, can you free civ from the enemy? So I think you might be saying, if an enemy has taken one of your cities or one of your friend's cities, can you liberate it? Yes. So let's say I'm the suzerain of Geneva. Egypt comes up and says, hey, we want that city for ourselves. We're going to take it. They declare war, and we're like, whoa, what is going on? And they take Geneva. I'm like, well, I'm going to declare war. I believe it's called a protectorate war. Causes 0 grievances because I'm going in to defend my city-state. And I can liberate them. If you liberate city-states that were annexed by another civ, you were in so many envoys there, they love you forever. Which is a really cool thing. You get free envoys in that city and they're forever loyal to you. As far as liberating a city for another civ, that's one of the limitations I would hope that they work on. So here's an example. Let's say me and Egypt are playing along and we're in a military alliance. And they're like, hey, the Zulu's being very mean to us. Can you declare war, against them with us? And you're like, cool. And the moment you do that, they get upset with you. Because you didn't follow the correct process where you're supposed to denounce them, wait 5 turns, and then declare war. So I think those are the limitations to the AI. And those are definitely some things that should be changed. Also, if you liberate a city back to a friend, they don't care. There's like no change in that kind of relationship. So I think that those pieces definitely need some work. And hopefully we will see it in the upcoming updates. They are doing so many updates to the game over the next, I want to say 9 months or so. So I'm hoping we will see that. But I'm not sure. Okay. So, Best Gamer, are you talking about playing Civ for free? This is an event that pops up all the time. They basically want you to march your own troops to a volcano, use a soothsayer to blow up the volcano and kill your troops. Turn points. I'm like, yeah, not doing it. Yeah, Best Gamer, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Alright, so commercial hubs. So these are those adjacency bonuses I was telling you about. Basically, you see +2, +2, +2. Basically, everywhere around here, they're getting a +2 adjacency. If you take a look here, you can see... Actually, that's campus. You can see here, you know, +2 from an adjacent river tile, +2 from an adjacent harbor tile, +2 from an adjacent Royal Navy dockyard, that's only for the English, +1 from every 2 adjacent district tiles. So you go through this list, and usually it's, when you put this down in the beginning of the game, it's usually just the rivers you're looking for. Ideally, you want it, you want it by a harbor and a river. That would give you a good adjacency bonus, but that can be a little bit difficult to do, especially since I'm nowhere near the coast. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick any of these two. I always like putting it around the city center, because further in the game, when I research spies, the spies can look out for my city center and any of the districts connected to it. Alright, so let's do this. Let's see. God, there's no production there. And there's a ton of sugar. Whew. There is some production here I could utilize. Okay, so setting up that settler, and you can always bring attach a troop to it, so it's a lot easier to take that settler. And here I'm going to build a plantation for these bananas, so I can get 2 gold and half of a house there, because there is some more bananas I want to take advantage of. Whenever you put down those plantations, you usually always are making gold. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here for today. This was a really good startup to to play around with the stream on the application and the new game. So I'm going to be working on a much longer stream to really get into a gameplay, get a good starting point, hopefully get a position for a great bath, see if I can get that great bath down, and really put in, it'll probably be a 4 or 5 hour stream of, kind of the progression through the game. That should probably take me pretty far, hopefully, to kind of show you guys the ins and outs of the game, how you progress. So definitely, if you have any questions about the game, I highly suggest checking it out on PlayStation, on Xbox One, on Switch, or PC. Also, it's available on the iOS store. I heard it's a really good port there. And definitely let me know what you think. Keep in mind that if you just get the base game, it is a completely different game than what you're seeing right now. every DLC pack that came out really made it into a new type of game. And to this point, it's definitely mutated from the base game itself. So just keep that in mind. If you do check it out, let me know what you think. Other than that, I also, if you like this type of game, suggest you check out Humankind. It's not available to play yet. They are still making it, but they are letting people try out different aspects of the game. I'm also hoping to do a Marvel Avengers beta run this weekend on PlayStation. The beta is coming out for the first time this weekend, only for the weekend, only for 2 days, and every weekend in August until the release date in September. So I'm super excited for that game. And Taylor, I will try to find Alpha Centauri. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Yeah, I'm working on it. There's some issues here.